My wife's betrayal, from devastation to building a new life after catching her cheating. A chilling premonition. A gut feeling that something was irrevocably wrong. That's how this nightmare began. 17 years. 17 years I dedicated to my wife. To our family. Only to have the rug ripped out from under me in the most brutal way imaginable. I'm struggling. Truly struggling. To piece myself back together after discovering the truth. This story is long. A tangled mess of love, loss, and betrayal that has been consuming me, leaving me breathless and desperate for some semblance of understanding. My wife, 21 when we met, was everything I thought I wanted. We had our share of ups and downs. Moments of pure bliss intertwined with periods of agonizing strain. I was smitten from the start. I even told her she was going to be my wife just 2 minutes after meeting her. Our 2 kids are the center of my universe. The reason I pushed through the toughest times. But after our second child was born, something shifted. I suspected postpartum depression. But she refused to acknowledge it. Then the recession hit. And we were barely scraping by. I was working myself to the bone. And every extra dollar felt like a victory. I asked her what was wrong and she had always say, "I don't know." But this was during the recession. Barely make it another month. I couldn't afford another $50 a week. Especially when she wouldn't talk to me, she'd be mean and disrespectful. Once we were back on our feet, I begged her to go to counseling with me. But I don't think she liked it. We went to a woman that I think she thought was going to just tell us that I was doing everything wrong and needed to do better. But I don't think she liked it all at first. She told her the same thing I did: I can't work with. I don't know. So my wife said she needed more help around the house. Cool, this was 2015. So I started handling more of the household chores. Vacuuming, doing dishes, helping with the laundry, and emptying the dishwasher and sink daily. Take out the trash and straighten up the house. Things were good for her. Then she got me again. Finally, I pulled her aside and told her that I would never divorce her. I would try to work and make our marriage better for as long as it took. But I think because my daughter is so much like me, she was taking her venom out on her. So if she wanted a divorce, that's what we do. The next day she said she wanted to try and make it work, and for a few years things were good. Antidepressant, but insisted on the lowest dose. Fast forward to 2020, went right back to the meanness and disrespect. Whenever she spoke to me in a look of disgust whenever I showed up somewhere. Sex was never a problem with us, and we both seemed to really enjoy each other. But when she'd get in these moods, shed with. At one point my sister told me she just assumed I had been cheating, because she knew my wife wasn't putting out for so long. So now we are here. Last month after a wedding we were at a hotel, and I was hoping to fool around, when she told me flat out, "I don't want you. I think we should get divorced." We agreed to do it but hold off till after the holidays for the kids. She fell asleep 10 minutes later. I laid in bed with tears pouring down my face. Thanks for 3 hours. I thought it was going to be the most pain I ever felt. Then there's today. A week ago she had to go to a party for my daughter's softball team. At midnight she wasn't home, so I checked her Life 360 app and she was at an Applebee. Finished, she was there till 1 but they closed at 12 o'clock. I asked where she went and she said some bar with the people from the party. Now I was suspicious. Today her mom called and asked if I could help her husband move a rug. When I was done, I'm standing outside and looked on the Life 360 app to see if she had left work. So I decided to try something. My wife has a bad habit of needing to talk on the phone. When she drives, she was short and said she had to go because she was talking to her mom, who was standing right in front of me. I went home. When she got there I asked how her mom was and if she told her I had seen her today. She said she hadn't asked where I saw her. I said at her house. When I called you her face, she tried some half-ass excuses, but finally admitted she had been seeing someone for a few months, so before we agreed to divorce. The floor fell out from under me. I was shell-shocked. I don't know if it was to not tip off the kids, or because she just don't care that she crushed me, but I suspect the latter. I just don't know what I'm going to do. The prospect of divorce was already stressful enough, and I've lost 20 pounds in the past month, without even trying, just figuring out how we can do this. I've spent the last 15 years paying off for $10. 0 in credit card debt, add 15. 0 in student loans. Now I'm going to owe her at least $40. 0 for the house. It's going to be painful, but I think I can do it. I was finally starting to mentally prepare myself for the divorce. And then this betrayal just hit me like a ton of bricks. In the last month she's hurt me more than I ever thought possible. I don't even recognize the woman I married anymore. I don't even know what to do. My daughter is going to be heartbroken when we tell her we're splitting up, but I don't even know If I should tell her about this because I don't want her hating her mom. I'm lost confused. Thank you for listening. I don't even know if what I wrote is allowed or too much off topic, but either way I thank you. Because it was very therapeutic to just type it out and get it off my chest. Even if I'm typing this with more tears streaming down my face. Thank you guys. Update 1. Please excuse the length of this post. I got a lot of advice on my initial post. Look at my submission history to see the original story. But I decided to follow my gut on how to proceed and it's going okay, still not done yet. So anyway, a week after my post I found the guy's name when she was sending an FB message on her computer. Apparently that's their sole way of communicating. Most likely because half married with 3 kids. That one was a real punch in the gut to a guy working 3 jobs to survive. On Christmas I found out she had told her whole family we were divorcing along with my sister and my cousin's W. She also left out the part about her cheating, of course. I couldn't talk to her mom at Christmas because she was already starting to cry, and I didn't want to tip off my kids. The next day my wife and I sat down and talked. It was disrespectful, and if she wanted him to divorce his friends, she doesn't treat a friend like that. Then we discussed how we'd split things up. I think I did okay. No child support, we both supply clothes for the kids, everything else gets split equally. I have to pay her $43. 0 in equity. In the end she walked with about $40. 0 and 800 credit score, all thanks to me. When I finally went to speak to her mom, I found out that when she found out we were going to talk, she came clean to her. She originally lied about cheating when her mom. My meal was furious, which I assured I would never happen. Fast forward to mid-January. I'm going to the gym every day to relieve strain. Now we have to tell my kids. I told her I wouldn't lie to my kids. I said if they asked to try to steer the conversation a different way. She said she felt the same way. The thing is, I knew this wouldn't fly with my daughter. She's like a 14-year-old clone, and that's what happened. Before we even said anything, my daughter asked if we were getting divorced when we sat them down. My wife said yes, and my kids lost. Then my wife made a big mistake. My father would never want this. You want this? Look at him. I've never seen him cry in my life. This is you? Then she asked if my wife was cheating on me. My wife tried to change the subject, but she wasn't having. She grilled her while screaming, tell me the truth, over and over until my wife fessed up. After that it was like I could see her brain moving. She started calling out every red flag over and over and made my wife confess in 3 minutes. She got more out of her than I did in a month. Afterwards I spoke to my kids alone. My son is 12 and just needed reassurance that things were going to be okay, and what changes as little as possible. My daughter told me she was crying for me, not her. I comforted her and made her feel better. Then she asked me to make her a promise. Because I've never broken a promise to my kids. If my wife loses her new house and needs a place to stay for a while, I would let her stay here. All the S going on, she could last for anything, and she looked out for her mom. I couldn't say no. When she talked to her mom, she asked her to promise to stop talking to the guy. Places like Target. I caught her again. And again we had a blowout even though she still talks to him. Apparently she has feelings for him now. Hey, like I said, right now, I'm in the process of refinancing my house, and she's looking for a house of her own. Also, one other thing. And I know this one is going to be controversial on the sub. Yes, I have proof, and yes, I know everything about this guy now. But I have decided not to tell his wife. I'm not proud to say it, but my motives are completely selfish and self. The fact is, if I tell her, a rich guy who even after divorce will still be rich. As much as I want to hurt this guy, I want to hurt her more. When she leaves, her sneaking around is over. They won't be able to go out on dates. She'll get to see how much of a side piece she really is. They'll only be able to meet at her house. And he'll have to leave as soon as he has finished. He won't be giving her any money because it could tip off his wife. But if he does, he's going to have to be the one to have the balls to do it. I'm not going to do his dirty work for him. Went from being a broke single mom to a millionaire. That might happen with my wife. But I'm not going to help make it happen. Thanks for reading, and please try to be nice. Just please try to understand that every situation is different. Thank you. Update. It's been 16 months since I found out. Here's an update, so if you look at my post history you'll see what caught my wife cheating after almost 17 years of marriage. In August we finalized the divorce. She got outbid 16 times. I found a house around the corner for me that she loved. I spoke to the owner, and he basically let her have it without taking any other bid. She never would have gotten the house without me, which makes me feel good as my kids are now never more than 30 seconds away from me. Our divorce agreement worked out great for me. No alimony, no child support. I kept the house and paid her the equity. Was able to refy before interest rates skyrocket. The next few months I basically refinished my house after splitting the furniture. Change some stuff around, change pictures, focus on that and my kids. Stay positive, kept going to the gym and working, it's been good. I've been friendly with her throughout. She even came to Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve at my sister. People think I'm crazy, but I let go of the ill will and help my kids celebrate the holidays normally. Play, and that makes me happy. Financially, I've been doing great. Well, I'm not sure, but I think she's struggling. We are supposed to split everything the kids need outside of food and clothes, but I wind up paying for more than I should, which I don't mind because I know it's going to my kids. In December, I met a beautiful, wonderful woman. She lives about an hour away and is divorced with 2 kids. Because of the custody schedule, we only get to see each other a few times a month, but she's amazing and really makes me happy. I don't know what my ex's dating life is like. I don't know if she still sees a guy or not. I know she's hooked up with a couple other people, but I don't ask about it. I know one night she went out with a guy 3 weeks after she moved out, and she got jumped by 4 girls and had the S beat out of her. Play, make me laugh. As far as the guy she was cheating on me, started having a conversation in front of them, where they mentioned my name and that I had found out. Tell me about my wife was cheating on me, then they started saying stuff like, man, if he decides to go after. Just laughing and watching him sweat without letting on, the knew it was him. I don't think my ex ever told him I knew about the affair. Ensure 3 run into him eventually, not sure how that will play out, but I'm not going out and seeking it. I've got a new girlfriend, a great relationship with my kids. I don't think it could work out for me any better. So if anyone going through it now needs some advice, here's what I would say. Stay positive, don't let the resentment and negative feelings take control of your life. If you don't have a lot of money, I know how hard this is. Exercise is a great way to find a gym and start going. It'll help your mental health as well as your physical health. Remember that every situation is different. Find a path that works best for your situation. They aren't coming back to you, and if they do, it's probably not for your best interest, so move on and find someone that deserves. If you're not the kind of person that meets people in the world, they work. But it really worked out well for me and my kids, and that's all I really wanted. So thanks for all the kind words and support, it helped a lot. Now on to the next story. Story 2. I caught my GF doing this with her app at a friend's wedding, so I exposed her. And now she's my wife. Play, 30 to female, has always been my biggest supporter. Starting out as a DJ in our town the moment we started talking. We had so much in common, from our interest to our taste in music and favorite. At first we decided to hang out as friends, but before long and we started dating. Fast forward to 2013, we got engaged. Catalog and sang along to all the songs. Throughout our marriage, Third Eye Blind as often as possible. We made it a point to attend their concerts whenever they were on tour. And over the course of our 9-year marriage, it's been a fantastic journey filled with shared passions and great memories. Last night was supposed to be our 10th time seeing our favorite band. Can you believe it? We've been married for 10 years as well, and our anniversary is just around the corner in November. I had this amazing plan all set up for romantic night together. And to top it all off, I've been saving my entire salary for the past year just for this special gift. So on Friday night anniversary celebration, when I got back home from work, I found my wife getting ready, looking as stunning as ever. I was all excited to give her the necklace and the concert tickets, so I went to my work laptop bag, where I kept but, and it had a notification buzzing. I couldn't resist my curiosity. The text was from an unknown number and it said, "How was today? I miss you so much, when can I see you again?" Man, it was such a shock for me. And my chest felt this weird heavy feeling when I saw that message on her phone. I couldn't help but scroll through their chat. I mean, how could she do this to me? That was the only question running through my mind. The worst part was when she mentioned him needing condoms, and he replied to it with a picture of a pack of condoms in his car. It made me wonder if they even used any, but honestly, at this point, does it even matter? I didn't want to stay in the house a minute longer, which are the concert tickets and a necklace. I got her and needed some space to process what was happening before I confronted her about it. So I hopped in the car and drove straight to the concert. I had spent a lot of money on those VIP tickets. About 15 minutes into the drive, my wife called me, sounding surprised and annoyed at the same time. She asked where I was and what I was up to. Can you believe the audacity she had to ask me that? I was so angry that I told her I was on my way to the show, since she already had her fun private show in the afternoon. There was silence on the other end, but I was too furious to carry on the conversation. So I just hung up. I was still in shock and couldn't believe what I had just discovered. At that moment I was feeling numb. Like I didn't know what to feel. She called me back. She started crying and tried to explain that they were just friends, and that nothing actually happened between them. But I couldn't take her excuses anymore. I felt like she never respected me or truly loved me the way I loved her. It all just spilled out, and I reminded her how I went all out to get her an expensive gift. For our special anniversary, she got quiet. And then suddenly it felt like she was trying to manipulate me into feeling sorry for her and forgiving her. I was done with her lies and drama at that point. I told her to leave me alone and be with whoever she wanted to be with. But she insisted that we talked about it like adults and wanted me to come back, as if I'm the childish one for having stormed out. She was going to act innocent, make me feel guilty, and then try to seduce me. And honestly, just the thought of it disgusted. I never thought I'd feel that way about my wife, and the idea of being intimate with her. It was all just too much, so I made it to the concert. I must have been in a daze or something because I just stared at him blankly and replied, "Yes, there's two," and then walked inside. Hypnotized or something. Anyway, the show was incredible. I had a blast and really enjoyed myself, and we all had a great time together, singing along to the songs, but I have to admit some of the lyrics hit me differently that night. Good night considering everything that was going on. During the concert I felt so alive. The loud rock music drowned out everything else, and it was just what I needed. When the concert, it was still pretty early play, and I thought about sitting at the bar and having a drink. My mind kept going back to those texts and what I had discovered, and it was hard to shake off those thoughts. So after the concert I headed to the hotel, where I had made a reservation for my wife and me. But there I was, sleeping alone. When I woke up, my inbox was flooded with about 30 emails from her. It seems like she had been up all night. I'm going through a roller coaster of emotions. Guilt, shame, and even anger. Some of her emails were filled with anger towards me for going through her phone. It was surreal to read those. Surprised that I had gotten her an expensive gift, hoping we could salvage her anniversary night and make it memorable. That night turned out to be unforgettable. But not in the way I had imagined. It was when I finally saw the true colors of the person I've been married to, even though it took me nearly 12 years to fully realize it. The worst part was when she sent me all the cards I had written for her over the years. Anniversary cards. What's birthday cards? When's Christmas? I always poured my heart into those cards, expressing my deep love for her. It was something I had never done for anyone else before, and she used to write such heartfelt cards for me too. I think her intention was for me to read those cards and have my heart soft. She hoped that I would come to my senses and a better future together, but instead reading those cards made me realize just how little she loved me. It was a painful realization. Despite us being together for nearly 12 years, I realized that I needed to come to terms with the situation and decide what was best for both of us moving forward. Now, looking back at everything I've shared, the roller coaster of emotions, the betrayal, the attempts to rebuild, and even the small victories along the way, I can't help but wonder if I handled everything the best way possible. Did I make the right decisions for myself and my children? Was I too lenient? Too forgiving? Or perhaps too focused on self-preservation? Was not telling the other man's wife the right thing to do? I'm genuinely curious to hear your perspectives, your honest opinions on how I navigated this incredibly difficult chapter of my life. Did I do the right thing by prioritizing my own healing and the well-being of my children? Or should I have taken a different path? I'm open to any and all feedback, as I continue to learn and grow from this experience.